for Golden State. They won that game against Dallas.
And really an emphatic win for them, especially considering that it came in an opponent's building, and there's no question it was their offense that carried them.
I love the way they went and got this game, Greg. I mean, they attacked at every opportunity, never relaxed or sat back, and as a result, they eventually pulled away.
Now, here's Ariza after the miss from Stephen Curry. Harden, no good.
Well, I think the defense got lucky right there. I mean, he's going to make a lot more of those than he misses when he's got that much room.
Beverly against Curry. From deep three-point range, another miss by Curry.
You know, he's been off his game this quarter just a bit. Hasn't been able to get a whole lot to go so far.
Here's Motiejunas, and lots of contact there. Missing the shot. He'll shoot two.
Kid, you ready?
Like last season, we saw Motiejunas make some nice strides.
Yeah, big uptick in his scoring efficiency, Kevin. Both his shooting from beyond the arc and from within the arc increased.
And Motiejunas actually showing a newfound post repertoire there. I mean, he's deceptive. He has hooks and pump fakes, little up and unders. The Rockets looked to him for offense when they weren't playing through Harden.
Looking at who's out there now for the Warriors. Spates checked in for Bogut. Rush comes in for Barnes. And it's Livingston in for Steph Curry. Rush outside, sinks it. What range from outside. Wow. Rush has got himself going there. His first points of the game on the deep ball.
And Motiejunas is a very confident player. I think where he can still improve is his rebounding and defensive impact. With a 7-foot frame, he's got to learn to play like a 7-footer.
Catching up on the changes for Golden State. Andrew Bogut checked in for Spates. Harrison Barnes comes in for Brandon Rush. And Curry subbed in for Sean Livingston.
It's not winning basketball when you're attempting shots like that.
Yeah, come on now. You got to remember it's a team game. He's got 4 teammates out there with him. I don't think he needs to try to do it all by himself like that.
Stolen by Terry. Here's Beasley. And 2 free throws coming up as he misses that one. Drawing the whistle and a lot of contact there. That one on Thompson. And a closer look here at the scoring breakdown for the Warriors.
They've definitely had a hot hand from three-point range. Always nice to get off to a good start.
The other thing they've had going for them tonight is their passing. I mean, doing a nice job. Plenty of their points early on coming off assists.
Looking at who's out there now for the Rockets. Motiejunas is checked in for Harrell. Ariza comes in for Brewer. And it's Patrick Beverly in for Jason Terry. .133 left here in the first quarter.
And the Rockets have lost out on some free agent wars the past few years. They have remained competitive, but you wonder what could have been if they landed or kept some of those big names.
And Harden wide open. He shoots. And another 3 for Houston.
And they're just raining threes on both ends.
Boy, I love the answer. You come at me with the 3, I'm coming right back with my own triple.
Curry, wide open, hits the jumper in space. Curry's got 8 points.
And if you're the guy who has to guard him, it is never going to be an easy night for you.
And here's Harden for 3, and that one's good.
They really can't allow him too many open looks like that. I mean, that's just inviting trouble.
Curry outside, and that's going to be too many steps. Gets the whistle on the travel. Here is Harden. A 29-point game for him in the win against Minnesota. There's 39 seconds left to play in the first quarter. Another miss by Harden. The Warriors have gone just a shade under 50% from the field. 5 of 11. Thompson. That's in, and he found his range with that one. Now 1 for 2.
Oh, and look at how well he led him in there. Really, he passed him open for that deuce.
From deep. Warriors with the rebound.
It just hasn't been a very good day for him, guys. They need him to start burying some of those.
And the Warriors get it back. Shoots a fader. It's tipped, but he recovers it. To the paint. Here's Curry. Here's Bogut. And Steph Curry, a player within the gym range. He told us about his comfort.
Anywhere 5-6 feet outside.
I was going to say, Greg, how big must that hoop look for Steph Curry? And tough to guard might be the understatement of the day.
I mean, he is just an insanely great shooter. I mean, arguably, I don't think there's an argument. He's the best shooter in the world. The argument is whether or not he's the best shooter ever. And listen, I can imagine there's very few times that Coach Curry is not going to allow this splash brother to let her rip.
And now the second quarter just getting set to start. And the Warriors, guys, what jumps out to you in this game stats-wise?
Yeah, just the way they've been able to pound that backboard. I think that's been the difference.
Establishment of a good low-post presence, a big part of the success.
Maurice Speights out there with Anderson Varejao. Then it's Rush. Then there's Ian Clark. And it's Livingston in at the point guard. So that's the group out there for Golden State. Last season for James Harden was easily his best yet. Finished second in the MVP race. Put up huge numbers with career highs in points per game scoring. Greg at more than 27 a game.
And also carried that Rockets team that dealt with a plethora of injuries, mainly to Dwight Howard. And second in the league in scoring, I mean, narrowly losing out to Russell Westbrook, who just went on a tremendous tear the second half of the season. And then also finished runner-up in the MVP race.
And Speights with the basket on the assist by Livingston.
And that's the kind of lead pass we've come to expect from him.
And so it looks like the Rockets will retain possession here.
And here's a look at some numbers for Howard. His last 10 games have been exceptional. Third in shooting percentage, seventh in rebounding, and of course, rim protection always at a premium. That's an important part of his game. Top 20 in block spurt.
And, you know, that's an impressive accomplishment. He just refuses to take bad shots. That's why he's one of the best in field goal percentage. And for Harden coming in second in the MVP race, he had a lot of first-place votes, and nobody knew if he or Curry would win the award. In most other seasons, he would have won the MVP.
Finished off the break. Harden's got the game tied up here for the Rockets.
How about the passing? They are moving the ball without any thought, without any individual agility.
Yeah, and it's really fun to see that kind of unselfishness. Really hard not to appreciate all the assists they've racked up.
The Warriors making a switch here. Barbosa's checked in. Houston also making some changes. Harrell, he's checked in for Monty Eunice. Brewer comes in for James Harden. And it's Terry in for Patrick Beverly. Dishes to Harrell. Houston moving the ball around. Offensive rebound. Howard, the pass to Brewer. Ariza pitch to Harrell. From deep three-point range. And it's Terry again missing. Golden State's gotten fewer than half of their three-pointers to go down tonight. They're 4 for 9.
And for Harden last year, he could have easily have won the MVP. Probably would have in other seasons. His big talking point for the award was how he carried the Rockets on his back. And he might have been the most valuable player to his team with the performances he had last year.
About 3 minutes played so far in the second quarter. And there's a foul. It's on Maurice Speights. That'll be his second foul of the game.
Boy, with 2 fouls now, he really has to be disciplined and under control for the rest of this half.
James Harden, he's checked in for Houston. Patrick Beverly comes in for Jason Terry. Inside, got a piece of it. Beverly dishes to Harden. Trains the three-pointer. Harden's got 14 points for the game. And a chance to catch up on some numbers here. The hustle stats for Houston.
Well, I think the defensive aggressiveness on display here has caught him off guard. Playing airtight defense and coming up with the steal.
And also defensively, they've been able to cause some turnovers tonight. And that also builds confidence and gives you momentum.
Leandro Barbosa with the rebound.
He just has not been able to get into that groove yet, guys. But as a whole, it hasn't affected them too much.
And he gets the bucket. Clark's got his first basket. And so here is Houston. After this game wraps up, they're off to Atlanta where they'll take on the Hawks. And that game will be game 2 of 3 straight on the road. Rush the pass to Speights. It's stolen by Ariza. Oh, and a fast break for the Rockets. Beverly with the ball.
And guys, that's a big swing right there. I mean, taking the steal and then turning it into 2 easy points on the dunk.
No telling how important that sequence could turn out to be.
And guys, in a game this snug, moments like that are the ones we usually look back on at the end as a difference maker.
And the Warriors.
We're playing too much on the perimeter. Let's look to dump the ball inside.
And guys, Patrick Beverly, a perfect fit for the Rockets alongside James Harden. Now, you know, Beverly is in that complementary role as a 3 and D guy. And remember, also, even though he's the point guard, he doesn't need the ball to be effective. He's good at just spotting up for threes, and he's a hounding on-ball defender.
And the Warriors with a completely new 5 on the floor. Warriors trail by 4. Kicks it to Curry. Lets the 3 fly. The rebound by Harden.
Boy, just by his body language, Kevin, you can tell he thought that triple was going to fall.
Yeah, it seemed like he had great rhythm on that. You can see the disappointment in his face.
Boy, they've gone on this run, and ball movement has been a big key.
It really has, Clark. The defense unable to react as quickly as necessary in terms of dealing with their passing.
And Beverly plucked out of Europe by the Rockets. Clark, he signed a new contract this past offseason.
And a nice value for the Rockets, Kevin. I mean, he's a player whose impact on the game really transcends the stat sheet. That's often the case for those guys that are all defense caliber players.
Catching up on the changes for Houston. Capella's checked in, and it's Beasley in for Trevor Ariza.
Well, it looks like he's cooled down a bit after hitting those 2 in the first quarter.
No good from Beasley. Golden State's got nothing but zeros from long range in the second quarter. 0 of 4, and it's Barnes slamming it down.
Excellent feed from Steph Curry.
There's 47 seconds left to play in the first half. Beasley with a clean look. Hits it from 3-point range. And the Rockets lead by 7.
Great outside shooting fueling this run.
And the D is getting bombarded. They haven't been able to slow them down the least bit.
Good on the shot. 10 points for Steph Curry.
And despite the hot start from beyond, they've gotten away from shooting the triple.
And trailing in this game, now is not the time to start playing conservatively. I mean, if you've got an open look from deep, let it go.
And that's how the coach would draw it up on the fast break from start to finish.
Yeah, and what a finish it was, guys. Really nicely done.
And that replay is sponsored by Kia, the Kia Slam Cam, giving us a great look at that one. And it's Barnes slamming it down.
And that's how the coach would draw it up on the fast break from start to finish.
Yeah, and what a finish it was, guys. Really nicely done.
Here's Beverly, and the release was before the buzzer, but it's off target. And so it's a close.
The 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Hello again, everybody. Ernie Johnson here alongside Kenny. Houston found themselves in a close game in the first. During one stretch, they trailed by 7, never falling behind to... All right, that is going to wrap up our halftime report, as it's just about time.
Well, both sides have assessed what they need to do over the break in halftime. We'll see now if one can pull out a way here in the third. One of the stories here, James Harden getting it done today.
And the threes, they just dropped for him consistently. He was in a zone in that first half.
I'll say, I mean, this couldn't have been a more productive day for him from long range so far.
So on the floor for Houston, Beverly and Ariza man in the backcourt. Moniunas out there with Howard. And it's Harden in at the 3 spot.
This is the tempo you love to watch. I mean, get out fast before the defense can get set.
Yeah, it's really paying off here. Fast break points accounting for their last 8.
And Beverly kicks to Howard. Pulls it up. And it comes off the front of the rim.
Not really sure what he was thinking about on that shot. That is not high IQ basketball.
Not at all. I mean, he shouldn't even have considered taking that shot. Just a poor choice there. Nice pass there to set that bucket up.
And that's 10 of their last 12 points that have come off assists.
It's tipped. Here's Green, and fouled hard that time. He'll get to the line and shoot two. Last season, Draymond Green taking over the starting power forward role in Golden State. Last season, David Lee was injured, remember, in preseason. Green was inserted, and he's been terrific ever since.
Absolutely superb. A former second-round pick, his emergence has fueled this team's rise to greatness.
Catching up on the changes for Houston. Brewer is checked in for Harden. And it's Terry in for Patrick Beverley. Warriors leading by 5.
And I really have always felt Draymond Green was one of those unique players. I mean, he kind of a tweener in terms of that small forward, power forward at only 6'7". But he's got toughness. The long arms enable him to defend bigger guys. And also the basketball IQ. You can never discount the importance of understanding what you're doing when you're on the floor.
And going out of bounds, last touch by Barnes.
Risky pass in a situation like that. Very lucky that wasn't a steal.
Fortunate to get it through. I thought he was headed the other way with that one.
Looking at who's out there now for the Warriors. Spates checked in for Bogut. Rush comes in for Barnes. And it's Barbosa in for Thompson. And a switch here also for Houston. Harrell's checked in. Barbosa's shot is off.
And with Draymond Green, he can defend inside. He can cover on the perimeter. I mean, his versatility at both ends of the floor also a huge asset. And you can't have a higher basketball IQ than he does. It really helps him excel at all facets of the game.
The later we get in the season, the hotter these teams have gotten. Your shooting leader since the All-Star break in the NBA. The Warriors, #1.
Kevin, all shooters need to have good legs. Part 2 of the season has given these guys fresh legs.
Clark, he's checked in for Steph Curry. Clark. And he can't extend the lead to double digits.
And sometimes he can hit that deep three, but it's not a high percentage shot for him.
Yeah, even for him, that's out of his range.
Rush with the steal. And now running up the court, Barbosa pushing it up. Laid in with a nice touch off the glass. Barbosa's got his second basket.
Boy, I tell you what, nice little run here they're going on.
And getting to the 10 has been the key. They're getting point-blank looks time and time again.
Tries to snap the cold streak. Cannot hit. The Warriors go the other way with it. Right around 3 minutes into the second half.
Looking at the Golden State.